Well, as my understanding of, if you're watching this, you're probably just starting your business. So what I would tell you here is if you're not currently sending email, start immediately. And you can even start with plain text. So you don't even have to be a designer. Just write emails and remember that ugly emails sell. So first of all, start. And then the next thing is keep doing, optimizing, and automating whatever is bringing in the gold in before you move on. So the biggest mistake we see is people have a lot of success, but then they keep trying to come up with new things instead of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the analogy we always use is, a great stand-up comedian, they will find 10 jokes that always work, and they will tell those same 10 jokes to a new audience every night. But what we see most business owners do is they keep trying to come up with new jokes and tell the same audience new jokes, which may or may not work. So once you find that killer routine, make sure that everybody who comes into your business sees the same routine because it's most likely to work and it's much easier to optimize. And then that's another part of it. You will think you will need to update your marketing because you see it all the time and you're like, oh, people must be getting sick of this. But the main thing is email, just like all marketing and sales, is a numbers game. So only 20, 30% of people may open your email and only 2 or 3% of people may click on that email. And let me ask you this, can you think of the last offer you received from a company in your inbox a week ago? Probably not. So just know that if you have things that are working, keep them running. Even if you start to get sick of them, if they're converting, keep doing it. And then reinvest your profits in better training, people, processes, and automation. So there's a lot of really great resources out there for finding people. And I always like to look for strategies that convert. Because if you can find great strategies, even if you're maybe not a great marketer or things like that, strategies can go a long way. And then when you do get your sales and copywriting chops up to snuff, you can go back and update those strategies and make them convert even better. And then I'll just leave it with you again, which is, keep following the money and leave your ego at the door. Because if you keep trying to make things work the way you think they should work versus the way they are working, it will be really hard and you'll probably be, trying to constantly take deals and things like that you may not want to take just to keep revenue in the business. So, follow the money and where people are investing and what they're willing to actually buy versus what they say they want or what you think they should want and things like that. And then the last thing I'll leave you with long-term growth is, as your list grows and as you send more campaigns and as you have more automations, you'll eventually want to start testing. So I always think of the 30% rule in A/B testing where, a lot of folks will say oh, well, let's try different button colors or something like that because I heard Amazon did it. Well, Amazon has a ton of traffic. So a 0.5% increase in a conversion means a lot of money for them. But if you're only sending to maybe 2,000 people, a 0.5% click-through rate on one email because a button shift changes is not nearly as good as if you have a bunch of other things you could be testing that would actually add a 30% increase. So what we do is, especially with smaller beginner companies, is what are the tests that we can do that have the highest likelihood of having a 30% or more, increase in the KPI that we're trying to improve, and KPI being key performance indicator. So if we want to improve open rates, we can do subject lines, preview text, things like that. Click rate, we can do where is the call to action, what is the call to action, what is the offer, conversion rate, and so on and so forth. So again, you can take a screenshot and read all of these. Just remember the 30% rule, which is, what are the things that are probably actually going to move the needle 30%, not what are the things that are going to move the needle 0.5, 0.1%. Because a lot of times the split tests you see recommended online, they sound cool, but they're usually for bigger businesses or businesses that aren't like yours. So go for the big wins, before you go for the small wins. Again, pick up the gold before trying to fix, or tune the rusty car. And with that, again, my name's Daniel Reifenberger. My company is Loyal Tribe. You can find us at yourloyaltribe.com and, reach out and let me know if you have any other questions.